After Dark. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia, and welcome to my weekly online class to go for this week. So for those who aren't familiar with the online class to go, it's an online class I do each week, and if you place an order of $75 or more before shipping and after any Stampin' Rewards redemptions before the end of Saturday, I will send you the card kits to make 2 each of the 3 cards that I'm going to be showing you tonight. So you'll get all of the cardstock, designer series paper and ribbon that you'll need. Any die cuts that are not part of the featured bundle I will include, but any that are, I'll send you the cardstock but not the actual die cut itself, because if you're using say a different image, if you haven't got the bundle and you're using something else, it doesn't really make sense to send you a die cut for an image that you don't have. But I will send you all the cardstock that you need, and any dies, and also punched shapes that are not part of the featured bundle. All right, so let's get into it. This week's featured bundle is the Mixed Florals, and these are the 3 cards for this week. The first one is a fun fold. Second one is a super easy and super quick card, and third one is a standard fold. So this is the Mixed Florals stamp set. So there's no sentiments on this one, so I have used sentiments from other stamp sets, and I've used for my sentiments, one comes from Mixed Labels. This one is on the last chance list, so it's also on. There's a slight discount on this one at the moment because it is last chance list, and then beautiful motifs for some of the others, but you can use whatever sentiments you like. And then we also have the Mixed Florals dies, and so with this one you've got 2 lots. So you've got the larger outlines that cut the flowers, and the other little images. So you've got the beetles and the flowers, and then a separate leaf image as well. So that is the Mixed Florals bundle. All right, let's get started. We will start with the fun fold, so just put those off to the side. So we have a Calypso Coral base, and then there are some die cuts from the arched dies, the everyday arches. So I've got 2 in basic white, 1 in Poppy Parade. I've already stamped and die cut the flower image that we're going to use, and I have coloured this so that you don't have to sit and watch me colour the whole thing, because I'm slow at colouring. So I've just used the Stampin' Blends for this. So Granny Apple Green for the leaves, Poppy Parade for the little flowers, Calypso Coral for the larger flowers, and then Daffodil Delight. And then we have some pieces of designer series paper and a tiny little sentiment label. Now I'm just going to check. I can't remember if with this paper, if I cut this, it may have been separate. I think it was. That's all right. I was just going to check if I had cut sort of across so they line up. This one I didn't, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. It's just if it did, I would make sure it lined up. Now we'll do the stamping in a sec. We just need to do the sentiment. Now for the base. So this is a standard Z fold, so it's pretty easy. For those, particularly for those in Australia, the measurement for this, and I have already scored it, I didn't mean to, you want to score, so you score in half at your normal 10.5 centimeters, and then the front piece you want to score that in half, or at the halfway mark. Ideally flip it over so that you've got a valley fold and a mountain fold. Now, half of 10.5 is 5.25, which is not the easiest to try and measure. But what I have found, and I'll just show you on here, let me zoom in as much as I can. I'll move my trimmer down. I'm just going to go, let's see, that's about as far as it goes. So hopefully you can see this. But if you've got your own trimmer, so if you come, basically you just want the first mark, which is 1/16 of an inch after the 2. So essentially 2 and 1/16 is as close as you're going to get and actually have a guide for 5.25 centimeters. So if you're not familiar with using the inch measurements, find the 2-inch mark, and then you just want that first line afterwards, so the little one, and that will get you as close as you can get to 5.25. So that's what I use when I'm making Z folds, and I find that that does work. So that's my little tip for the Z folds, and I'll just zoom my camera back out. Oh, that's gone too far. It's a little bit slow to react today. That's all right. Let's just get that back. I think that's about right. Yeah. All right. So let's stamp first. And I used Mossy Meadow ink for this one, but you could also use Memento Black if you prefer. And I'm using the Just a Note from the Beautiful Motifs. So I'm just going to make sure that's all inked up properly and stamping properly. And it is a bit of a tight fit on here, so excuse my head if it ends up in the camera, but it does fit. There we go. All right, let's put those to the side. And let's start putting this together. So we will start with the Designer Series paper. So all of your paper is going on what is currently the inside of your card, because when we fold, this one will be at the front. So don't go flipping your card over and sticking it on the front. You want it all on this side. So I will just bring in my silicone mat so that when I get adhesive everywhere, it doesn't stick to, well, hopefully it doesn't stick to things I don't want it sticking to. And there goes my camera again. I don't know what is going on there. It did that to me the other day. Give me a sec. I'm hoping you can hear me. I am still here. I will be back very soon. Is that gonna work? Yeah, there we go. All right. Sorry about that. I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm not sure why it does that. It's like it's going to sleep, but it's running, so it shouldn't be going to sleep. Maybe I'm not moving enough. I don't know. But I will have to have a look into that, because it's been fine for the up until last week when I was recording a video, so it wasn't a live stream, it was a recorded video, and it did that to me. Haven't had it happen on a live until now. Hopefully that is the only one for tonight. Now, which way do I want it? Let's go this way. And speaking of recording videos, I was recording for the 12 weeks of Christmas, and the first week of projects goes out for those on my list. That is going out in tomorrow's email. So if you're not already on my email list, if you sign up tonight, then you should be good to get tomorrow morning's email. So if you head over to my website at handmadeafterdark.com.au and fill in the form to join my email list, then you will be on the list for all of the 12 weeks emails. So for those who don't know what the 12 weeks is, it's a 12-week series of Christmas projects that I do with a couple of my good friends, Connie from Great Stamping with Connie in Canada and Terry from Rustic Barn Cards in the US, and each week we send out a video and PDF tutorial of a Christmas project, and the first week is this week. So make sure you're on my list so you get the PDFs and the video links. And now let's get these going. I will adhere these two together. So one of the basic white pieces is going on the Poppy Parade. So I'm just going to stick that down. And the other one is going in the middle. Now, I will fold my card, because when we stick this down, we just need to make sure, and if you center your piece, you should be fine, because you just want to make sure that when you stick this one down, that it does cover the full inside piece. So if you go for the middle, you should be fine, but I always like to just double check before I stick everything down, just in case. One, to make sure I've actually cut the right size piece, but also to make sure that I have got the alignment right. So I'm not going to press that down just yet. I'm just going to double check, and that looks pretty good. So we can press that down, and give me a sec. I just want to double check a couple of things because my computer is being a little tricky, but I think everything looks good. It's just not quite showing me everything that it should be showing me. There we go, that looks a bit better. Hello Renee, thank you for joining me. All right, now we are going to stick that down. That is going up on dimensionals, but we need to make sure we adhere the linen thread. Now that's going to go down towards the bottom, and I will grab, where did my dimensionals go? Apart from staring me in the face, I was using them just this afternoon. Oh, I'm running out. I've got a few here, plus all the edge pieces. Always use your edge pieces. They are very, very handy. Although I'm hoping to pull out another pack just so that you don't have to sit and watch me cut them up. And I know I've got plenty here because I have heaps. I've got some big ones. I don't want the big ones really, but I know I've got, actually I've got tons in here. I just have to pull them out afterwards. We shouldn't need too many more for this. I think we are just about good to go. Just need a bit more there. All right. So this one is going to go on a bit of an angle. Just get all the backings off. Add to the pile on the floor. And I'm just going to add a little bit more at the tip of right down at the bottom, just because it's a bit thinner and I've got the twine that's going to wrap around, and I just want to make sure that it is going to be secure. All right, so that is going to go on a bit of an angle there, and then we will wrap the twine around a couple of times, and it's actually going to go, I'm going to go under the leaf but over the top. Now I just need to adjust. Oops. All right, that should be enough on that side, and we shall flip this over and add a little bit of tape. Just makes it a little bit easier to tie the bow at the end when it's a bit more secure. There we go. And I should cut this off and add a glue dot. Because once I find one right in front of me, where'd that go? There it is. We're just going to nudge that next to the stem of the flower. And let's see how long it takes me to tie this bow. Just be careful when you are tying the twine that you don't, linen thread I should say, that you don't pull in too hard, because if you do pull in a little bit too hard on it, you end up you'll end up with little notches in the side of your cardstock. So just be as gentle as you can within reason. And I'll just make that one a bit bigger. There we go, that should be, press that down so it's staying on the glue dot, and I might actually stick another glue dot under the flower, just under the leaf there, just so that it stays put, and probably won't see it, which is kind of the idea. And it just means the twine will stay still and all good. And we may as well, we'll do that after we've adhered this down. Now, just remember, when adhering this down, you only want adhesive on half, and make sure you put it on the right half, as in the correct half, not the right side. So what I often like to do, just so I've got a guide as to how far across I can come, and I'm not going, and actually I just realized I will, yes, I will actually need, I didn't think that bit through, did I? It might, will that? It will partly. So, one mistake I have made, when I put the tape down, I forgot to leave it on this side only. So that will now be visible, but I am going to find a way to fix that. One thing you could do, obviously if you can peel it off, one thing you can do if you've got adhesive, and I'm actually going to try it now before if I can find what I need, is, let me see if I can find my tools. Here we go. Let's see how well this works on this sort of tape. But one thing you can do with adhesive, if you've done the same sort of thing that I've done, or if and it generally works particularly well with things like liquid glue, is if you get your embossing buddy and basically dab that over, then it's not sticky anymore. Now you can still see the tape, but you've at least, and you may well be able to peel it off. And actually it looks like I can, which is very handy. Just be very careful that you don't peel. Like you can see that the cardstock is starting to peel, so you do want to be careful with that, but you can at least hide or make it not sticky. So I'm going to see how much this I can take off, and I'll add some more. I'll get a new piece, but yeah, your embossing buddy, unfortunately you can't buy them individually anymore. You've got to buy it as part of the embossing kit, but it is very, very useful for things like that because it completely takes the stickiness away. So it actually worked better than I expected on the tear and tape. You could not, there was absolutely no sticky, which is good to know that it works on that one as well. And I will dust off the rest of the powder later. But my little tip for the day, because I messed up, all right, now where were we? All right, so make sure when you stick this down that your white die cut on the inside is still going to be covered, so make sure you got the placement right. And before you press down, just double check that you haven't got adhesive hanging over the edge. If you do, use your embossing buddy trick. And that's pretty good. All right, let's add the sentiment. So I'm just going to pop this up on a couple of dimensionals, or a couple of edge pieces of my dimensionals. And we are nearly done for this one. Now, originally I was going to put the sentiment over the twine, but I've put the twine a little too high, so that's fine. I'm just going to stick it. Maybe I can actually scrap that. Let's see if I can. It will just need to sit. How's that going to look under there? I reckon that might just about. There we go. That works. All right. Now all we need to do, I'll just get this out of the way. I should probably keep this up on my desk. Poor little mishaps like that. Is, what do we need? We want the brushed brass butterflies and the adhesive pearl trio. Now these are on the last chance list. So if you want these ones, now is the time to order. The butterflies you are fine with, they are still current. So let's just add a couple. Going to add one of the larger ones. Oops. If it will cooperate. There we go. And one of my little ones. Put that little one over there. And then, now, when I did my sample card, I did the pearls on the centers of some of the flowers. I don't quite have any that are super visible, and we want to make sure they're either on the outside there, but I think we can get a couple in. I can see one that we can probably make work. So we can get one down there, and I reckon it's a little, it's not quite in the right spot, but it's close enough. And then ideally I want something over here, so we might just chuck one on somewhere, because you don't want it in any of the spots where you've got anything sitting over the top, but I reckon let's go there. That works. All right. That is the first card done. And now, just put these aside, we will move on to the second card. Now this is a super quick and easy card, and you can get quite a few from one 12 by 12 sheet of designer series paper. So I've actually got two here, so I will show you. Where is it? Oh, there it is. It fell on the floor. That's all right. So I'll show you. This is what the full sheet of paper looks like. So you can basically, I cut sort of what bit, it's like 9.5, and so you can get 4 from the corners, and then you'll have another piece that you can cut in half for the middle, and do that for another slight variation on it. So when you get, for those who are doing, who are ordering or placing an order to get the kits, you will get 2 slightly different pieces. So you get different corners, so you can adjust your design as you see fit. All right, so we will bring in the Daffodil Delight card base. So these are good when you need a card in a hurry. So we've got some basic black and some basic white for the insert, and all we need to do, put that bit to the side for now, is pick your sentiment, and I am going to use from the mixed labels the Your Kindness Made My Day, and I'm just going to use Memento Black for that. And so just obviously with your sentiment, make sure it fits, and then just before you stamp, just decide where you want it to sit. And because this is a red rubber, I want to make sure I don't have ink around the edges. I should be good. go. And then all we need to do is grab the basic black, and this one's a thinner border, so I'm going to use the liquid glue for this one, just so I've got that little bit of extra wriggle room. And all we need to do is put that down, adjust slightly. Alrighty. Then, seeing as I've got the liquid glue out, I will keep going. Adjust it slightly, there we go. And then we just need to do the insert. And we will stick this one down, and then all that is left is some embellishments, and get some of the excess adhesive off. Try not to throw the card away. Alright, so I am using for this one, like that, pull them out, the Opal Rounds assortment, and also the butterflies again, the brushed brass butterflies. Where is it? There it is. Oops. Where are you going? You're going over there, seeing as you didn't quite want to cooperate, but that's fine. And you're going to go up there. And then we will grab a few of these. I'm just going to go one up in the corner, one down there, and I reckon we need one more down there, and we're done. So quick and easy. So these are great when you need, particularly if you need to make a whole stack, because you can use different sentiments. You can make a whole heap for all different occasions, and then you've got a stash of cards ready to go, because we always need last minute cards. So that is that one done, and then we come to the final one. So this one is a bubble bath card base. Let me just rearrange a few bits and pieces, and then we have some more bubble bath cardstock, stylish shapes, basic white die, basic white for the insert. I'll put that there for the moment. Some designer series paper, so I'm going with the black side for this one, and some basic white for the image. Now, so you don't have to sit and watch, I have coloured this already with Stampin' Blends. So Granny Apple Green, for the leaves, bubble bath for the flowers, and balmy blue for the little flowers. So same with all my or most of my colouring with Stampin' Blends, particularly for the weekly class. Nothing fancy, just start light, add some add a little bit of dark, and then blend in with the light again. So nothing fancy, but I'm very slow at colouring, so if you had to watch me colour the first card and this one, we'd be here all night. So let's do the stamping first before I forget. So I'm just using basic black again, and I'm using the Thinking of You sentiment from the Beautiful Motifs. So got a bit more space with this one, so try and center it as best you can. And put that to the side. Then let's bring these in. So let's stick that down. Just make sure I've actually cut it properly. Get that one down. This is also a pretty quick and easy card. The colouring is what takes the longest, but once you've done that, it's pretty quick and easy to put together. Now this one is, yes, this one is a fairly fine border, so I'm going to use the liquid glue. Okay. Let's get that one down and adjust slightly. It's good to go. That goes in the middle. And yes, I do sometimes find it a little easier to work with the card sideways than landscape rather than portrait. I don't know if that's just me or if there is something to it, but I do find it a bit easier sometimes. All right, but probably not for the sentiment. That's probably not so simple. Now, the sentiment is going over the edge. Now, let me just check. I can't remember. Nope, I did actually right up at the top, so it's not going quite as high up as I was originally thinking. So that's fine. And one more piece for the middle. And then we shall stick that there. flip it over and we will add the insert. That one down. Get rid of the excess adhesive off the edges. And then for this one, for the embellishments, I am using the rainbow adhesive back dots. So I'm using the, and I haven't got many left actually, the bubble bath. So that actually works well. I have just enough left. Don't think I've planned these for any other cards, I hope not. But I'm actually gonna, do I go blue or do I go the larger ones? I did the larger ones on the original card, but I could also add the blue. What do we think? Let's see if I can peel this off without. Do I add little blue ones or go with the big pink ones? I don't know. I'll just go with the big pink ones because that's what I did originally. And I've got just the right amount. Hopefully I don't have any other projects planned with that particular colour, although I can always order more, of course. All right. There we go. That one is done. Let me bring all the cards back in and move some of this out of the way. So we have the second one and the first one. There we go. All right, so these are the 3 cards for this week's online class to go. Ordering is open until the end of Saturday night for this week's kits. And, oh yes, it has changed. Sorry, the other screen's on a little bit of a delay, so it looked like it hadn't worked, but all good. All right, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the projects. Next week's featured bundle is the Terrific Toadstools bundle. So I will catch you next week. Have a great week. See you then.